Hello. All right, so we're looking at Brutus I, and this was one of the first arguments against the new Constitution. So Brutus is the anti-federalist, and of course, there's reference to Brutus, who killed Julius Caesar, the dictator, the tyrant. And so obviously using Brutus was a kind of allusion to that. So we're going to look at this. You can see Brutus was actually published in a newspaper. It says to the citizens of the state of New York. Matter of fact, the Federalist Papers were also published in New York newspapers. So these were basically newspaper articles arguing why the Constitution was wrong. And Brutus I was the first one. We don't actually know who authored this. So let's just get going and we'll make some marks and you mark your paper up as I do that as well. All right, so we start with Brutus writing in 1787 after the Constitutional Convention. And he says, the new government is to possess absolute and uncontrollable power. So he makes the argument here absolute uncontrollable power is that basically this new government is going to be tyranny. Like that's what we're going to get from this. Legislative, executive, and judicial branch with respect to every object to which it extends, for like whatever law it wants to pass. For by the last clause of Section 8, Article 1, Article 1st, it is declared. So this is Section 1. All right, Section 1. Oops, sorry. Article, Section, okay, sorry, I screwed that up. Article 1, Section 8. And this is known as the necessary and proper clause. All right. And so this is what he's talking about. And here's what it says. The necessary and proper clause, or Section 8, Article 1st, or we call it Article 1, Section 8, that the Congress shall have the power to make all laws that shall be necessary and proper, hence necessary and proper clause, for carrying into execution the foregoing powers, and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States. So what they're saying is like that law, right? That right there, that section, it gives it uncontrollable power. Like that Congress shall have necessary and proper laws to carry out execution of laws. Like that's going to make this government completely excessive in power, uncontrollable. Nor, and let's keep going, nor can the Constitution or laws of any state in any way prevent or impede the full and complete execution of every power given. So what they're saying is that states will not be able to stop it. So the states are basically losing their sovereignty, and this is the reason why we shouldn't get the Constitution. All right, let's continue on with some other arguments. Now let's proceed to inquire, as I at first proposed, whether it be best the 13 United States should be reduced to one great republic or not. It is here for granted that all agree in this, that whatever government we adopt, it ought to be a free one, that it should be so framed as to secure the liberty of the citizens of America. So, question is, should we have the 13 United States be reduced to one great republic? And he's saying that obviously he's setting this up to say, no, we shouldn't be one great republic, but we should be able to secure liberty. Let's see what he says that we should do to secure liberty. Baron de Montesquieu, Spirit of Laws, Chapter 16, Volume 1, Book 3. It is natural to a republic to have only a small territory. So, whoa. So, look what he does. He drops a little Montesquieu in on us and he says, look, like republics, history saying, only have small territory. So, he's like, look, we're only supposed to, like, republics should only have small territory. And here we are creating this large republic. So, this isn't going to work. Okay, let's see what Montesquieu also says. Otherwise, it cannot long subsist. So basically, a large republic will not long subsist. Only small republics last, according to Montesquieu. In a large republic, the public good is sacrificed to 1,000 views. So public view, the public good is sacrificed. So too many views, opinions, to get public good. So what's good for the public dies because there's just too many people. Like we're just arguing too much. Never gonna get anything done. The public good is gone. Let's continue. In a small one, meaning a small republic, the interest of the public is easier perceived, better to be understood, and more within the reach of every citizen. So this is very important. Small republic, um, the interest is easily understood. You can get it. There's not all these clamoring of different interest groups. It's like it's easy, it's small, so this is better. This means the government is going to be better for the people when it's small. And this is really the key of Brutus. Small is better. Large republic, dangerous. Here we go. History furnishes no example of a free republic, anything like the extent of the United States. So, like, okay, look, history's against us. History is against us. No large republics. That's it. This doesn't exist. So what are we doing here? This isn't going to work. The Grecian or Greek republics were of small extent. So were also that of the Romans. Both of these, it is true, in process of time, extended their conquests over large territories of country. And the consequent was that their governments were changed from that of free governments to those of the most tyrannical that ever existed. So large republics become tyrannical. So he's using history as an example. He's saying, look, yeah, small republics started in Greece and in Rome, and eventually they got bigger. Sure, yeah, right. And then they became tyrannical. And then Brutus had to kill Julius Caesar. So, like, this isn't going to end well. That's basically what he's arguing. In a pure democracy, and when we write pure democracy here, we were really talking about a participatory, small republic, right? So very small, participatory, small republic, pure democracy. The people are sovereign and their will is declared by themselves. For this purpose, they must all come together to deliberate and decide. So very participatory here. Everybody comes together, they decide, almost like a small town in New England. This kind of government cannot be exercised, therefore, over a country of any considerable extent. It must be confined to a single city. So participatory is better, according to him, and can't be over large area. So he's arguing that like this is not possible over a huge area. All right, so let's continue. We're getting close here toward the end. The territory of the United States is of vast extent. It is now contains nearly 3 million souls. I love how that's like really big, but actually 3 million is pretty small compared to 333 million today. And is capable of containing much more than 10 times that number. Oh, how about 100 times? Brutus. It is practical. Is it practical for a country so large and so numerous as they will soon become to elect representatives that will speak their sentiments without their becoming so numerous as to be incapable of transacting public business? It certainly is not. So basically, what he's saying here is that to elect representatives to speak their sentiments, basically what he's saying is like it's too large for representatives to do the public good. Like there's too many. It's just going to become so large that they're not going to be able to elect people that actually represent us. Like we're not even going to know who they are. Right. So he's saying this large republic's not going to work. In a republic, the manners, sentiments, and interests of the people should be similar. Oh wow. So similar interests equals better. So diversity of interest is going to be a bad thing, basically. We should have a republic that has very similar interests of people, which, by the way, means small. If this is not the case, there will be a constant clashing of opinions. So the problem with large republic, too many opinions, clash of ideas. And the representatives of one part will be continuously striving against those of another. This will retard the operations of government and prevent such conclusions as will promote the public good. So once again, like it's just you get these big republics, a bunch of people with different ideas. All these ideas are clashing, and we get nothing done. I mean, I will say, kind of sounds a little bit like America today. Um, so that's kind of fun. I mean, maybe Brutus was onto something here. Promote the prevent. So we get the prevent here. Highlight prevent through public good, and too many ideas equals no public good. So we're not going to get any laws that we like. You know, keep it on the size of Vermont. Maybe it'll be good. Big? No, bad. The confidence which the people have in their rulers in a free republic arises from knowing them, from their being responsible for them for their conduct to them for their conduct. So knowing representatives, this is the key. Small republic equals know. We know the rulers. We know our representatives. This is big. And from the power they have of displacing them when they misbehave. So we know the people and we get rid of them when they're bad. But in a republic of the extent of this continent, the people in general would be acquainted with very few of their rulers. The people at large would know nothing little of their proceedings. It would be extremely difficult to change them. So we don't know leaders. If we don't know leaders, we will likely never change them. So we're just not going to really know. And then this is going to be bad government. You're going to have corruption and bad things are happening. So one, large, too many opinions. And then too large, we don't know our leaders. And then this is going to be really bad. So extensive a republic, the great officers of government would soon become above the control of the people and abuse their power to the purpose of aggrandizing themselves. Aggrandizing, making themselves better. Abuse their power. So large republic representatives, reps who don't know people, abuse power. So too many people per representative, and they eventually will abuse the power. They will use the power when they have acquired it to the purpose of gratifying their own interests and ambition. And it is scarcely possible in a very large republic to call them to account for their misconduct or to prevent their abuse of power. So large republic equals abuse of power. Like reps will abuse power. I might put there reps abuse power because we don't know them. We don't know them personally. Like a small republic, like it's in a small city, like you know who it is. They are responsible to you. They're not going to abuse power because they know you. But here in the large republic, we don't really know anybody. You don't even know the person. You know what they're doing because it's so big, and so therefore they're more likely to do things for their own ambition, gratifying themselves, and therefore abusing power. That's Brutus's argument. There are some of the reasons by which it appears that a free republic cannot long subsist over a country of great extent of these states. So that finishes Brutus, a close read on Brutus, and just you can kind of see like some themes here that he quotes Montesquieu. He drops a little Montesquieu in there and says only small republics are good, and that large republics are really bad because you don't know the people. That people don't know you, and therefore there'll be abuse of power. Awesome. Go to your green sheet, and we're going to go and have the next part of the lesson. Thank you.